Our next matchup of the week takes us down to South Georgia, Statesboro, to be more specific, where the James Madison Dukes hit the road to take on the 4-2 Georgia Southern Eagles. 4 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus, and James Madison going on the road, currently favored by a whopping 9.5 points down in L&E Paulson Stadium, again in Statesboro, Georgia. Both of these programs off to a hot start. James Madison 5-1 entering this contest, and as I mentioned before, Georgia Southern at 4-2. Brad, a lot of big storylines in this game too, fighting in the Sun Belt. I'll turn it over to you. Thoughts on this game and who comes out on top in Statesboro?
Absolutely. Nate, you just mentioned, we were just talking about it. Clay Helton has done such a good job at Georgia Southern. I mean, for years, Georgia Southern was known as, a triple option attack and a run-heavy team. Of course, now Houston coach, former Tulane coach Willie Fritz was there, and he definitely ran, a spread offense, but definitely they were still a run-first attack. And here comes Clay Helton all the way out from USC, and he's put in, definitely a pass-heavy offense, and it's just done an incredible job. I'm really, really impressed. Nate, I know you mentioned this guy when we talked about Georgia Southern a few weeks ago, but their quarterback, J.C. French, who's a sophomore, he's having a really, really good year. But, Nate, I mean, James Madison, to me, they're a hot team right now. Nate, I'm interested to see, man, especially since we're starting to get close here to the first college football playoff rankings. I think James Madison has got a legit chance to be that group of 5 team. I really, really do. The Dukes are so good. I'm a huge fan of Alonzo Barnett, their quarterback. 15 touchdowns, just 1 pick on the year. Man, he is so solid. You just know what you're getting with him. They average 39 points a game. Their defense is just unbelievably. I've been impressed with them. They've given up some points, but I think you're going to continue to see this team improve. 13 team sacks on the year. So I mean, I think they're going to continue to improve. I think the big thing with them is they have such an explosive offense. They're asking their defense, hey, just give us 1 or 2 stops a half and we'll be good. So I'm taking the Dukes in this one. They're a 9.5 point favorite, and this is no disrespect to Georgia Southern, but I think the Dukes cover, and I think they win by double digits in this one.
Yeah, Brad, you bring up so many great points for this game. One of the most underrated matchups of the week, in my opinion. I get it, James Madison's favored by 9.5 in this game, but it's going to be an exciting matchup nonetheless. You mentioned J.C. French. Got to tell you up front, Brad, he's questionable for this game. He took a hard hit last week running for on 4th down and was replaced by a backup quarterback. And I just lost it. I had my notes. There he is, Dexter Williams Jr. It's up in the air for Georgia Southern. Clay Helton's got to turn it around fast for this week, getting his backup ready if French can't go. So in terms of James Madison, though, I've been really impressed, to your point, with quarterback Alonzo Barnett III, to get that properly correct. After the departure of Jordan McLeod and obviously Kurt Cinetti, everyone thought that James Madison wasn't necessarily a lost cause, but they wondered, how is this program going to return to the field this year? How are they going to look? Can they bounce back? They came so close last year, had an amazing record, just a phenomenal job by Kurt Cinetti. We know how good of a coach he is. We just talked about him in the previous matchup at Indiana. But I've been really, really impressed with Alonzo Barnett. It hasn't skipped a beat with that offense at James Madison. A lot of credit to that coaching staff and keeping those players there for the most part. In this matchup, though, I'm taking James Madison as well. I just think overall they've got the better players. They've got the better depth. And I think they just out-physical Georgia Southern. We saw what Genty was able to do against that Georgia Southern defense, And I think James Madison's going to do the same. I think you're going to see Alonzo get more rushes in the run game, and I think they're really going to take advantage of this weather. There's a slight chance of rain on Saturday, and I think that could play a factor into it as well. So give me James Madison, and I do believe that they cover the spread in this one. Let us know down in the comments who you think will come out on top in this Sun Belt matchup in Statesboro, Georgia.